I don't even feel like smiling this morning as I start the video for January the 7th, 2018, that I've titled, Cleaning Up a Corrupt System. All my life, I thought there was a loving creator. Somehow I became convinced that I had a mission to help bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. Yes, this keeps playing over and over again in my mind. If the Creator is loving, why have obvious criminals, beings that seem devoid of compassion, been not only allowed to exist, but to take control of creation in the first place? For eating some forbidden fruit is the story I was told. Yet when I think back over literally thousands of years of human existence on this planet, according to archeological evidence, my heart simply cannot grasp the insanity of it all. It's a very corrupt world where we live, corrupted by the insanity of allowing the most diabolically insane beings to be in charge. I want so much to be part of helping the world recover, rediscovering whatever was hidden that will allow a greater comprehension of the mystery of human life. Whatever that is, the corrupt banking, political, and religious system that exists needs to be cleaned up from the top down. It has to start with the devil that pretended to be God and leaving no impostors unaffected. Ironically, I had another nightmare last night. This was a strange one, that there was a flood. And the place where I was the water just kept getting, each segment of the dream, the water was rising higher and higher. Now, I was still alive when I woke up and laid there for a good while trying to make sense of the whole thing. And I had not written the blurb at that point in time. I purposely did not write a blurb last night like I often do. I write the blurbs the night before, or sometimes even the day before. But this time I came to the computer with that dream in my mind and sat here pondering the whole thing for a good while before I even came up with a title and before I wrote the blurb. I also checked my new messages, and one of them is from a friend of mine who, and I'm looking at the picture now on the other computer with the timer going, and it says Vietnam shows how they clean up corrupt banking system as bankers sentenced to death for fraud. And it shows a picture of a guy with white hair and a suit, and it looks like he's holding a briefcase or an attaché case in his left hand, and there's something trailing off on that, and the sky is behind him, and he's hanging by his neck. I would like every creature to be redeemed if possible, but without repentance, redemption is not possible. You can't just grant amnesty to criminals without a real change of heart that takes place within them so that their criminality cannot be released and loosed on everyone else, because criminals don't keep rules. If you outlaw guns, for example, criminals will not obey the ban. They will not keep the ban. They will still use guns. And obviously, to me, in the world in which we live, many people that wear badges and carry guns behave as if they are also criminals, because they're serving a system where they're getting their orders from those who have criminal intent. When are we going to understand? When are we going to wake up to the reality every time I say understand, I think back to how the legal system uses it, and it is total perversion of language and total perversion of common meaning. But that is the whole system. It's all a perversion. It's all systematically programmed to rule us and to create a slavery system where we serve an impossible dream, and we're on an impossible mission. It's a mission impossible, because we're trying to figure out what life means. Many of us are trying to do good and to do the right thing, and we live in a system where the best people are punished. And we have the image, of course, of the Messiah, of Jesus. But that's an ancient story. That did not happen just 2,000 years ago. That's an ancient story of a dying Messiah. That's something that existed before the Christian era. Okay? It existed before that. And the one that does the right thing and tries to do good is punished by those who have been allowed to take charge of a planet through greed and corruption and manipulation. And I mean, it's insane. Am I the only one that sees the insanity of it? Yes, I'd like to be able to say the kingdom of heaven is coming. And somebody else sent me a thing that says that, I think it was a Saint Germain thing, but everything is being speeded up now. And so we're going to be able to accomplish in 2 years what would normally take a few thousand years to accomplish. Well, we've already had a few thousand years and we didn't accomplish it. When I say a few thousand, it may be multi-thousand, tens of thousands of years. And we didn't achieve heaven on earth. We didn't get to the place where humanity can thrive and be blessed and bless one another, recognizing that we are all interconnected, that life is a web of life where everything is interconnected. But it doesn't seem to be unified in any way, shape, or form in the world in which we live, facing the reality that we have to deal with, even the reality that many call an illusion or a delusion. Why? What is it that we are supposed to get that will transform us? And then when I say us, I mean humanity, from the inside out, and allow us to see the nonsense, to see the criminality of the belief systems that we have, even our religious belief systems where the good get killed to supposedly redeem the bad. But the bad never get redeemed. The bad not only don't get redeemed, they get more and more empowered as time goes on, as generations pass. Am I the only one that wrestles with these things? Am I the only one that tries to get a grasp and to gain some sort of sanity in a world that is diabolical? I mean, it is evil, which is living backwards. Everything is inside out and upside down. Nothing is tangible in a sense of making sense. The tangibility, we say, is just an illusion. Physicality is just an illusion. But it's the illusion we have to deal with. What is it going to take to get people to understand that something has to happen, and the Creator is the ultimate source of that responsibility? Thank you for listening. Namaste.